golden highlands and there lived a king named Emperor Menelik II. He ruled the ancient kingdom of Ethiopia with wisdom and a heart that beat for his people. From his high balcony, he looked across the rolling hills of his home, knowing that a great shadow was beginning to stretch across the world, the shadow of empires seeking to claim lands that were not theirs. Menelik stood tall, his royal cloak fluttering in the wind, a silent vow etched upon his face. A man named Pietro, an envoy from a distant land called Italy, arrived with a scroll of paper. He spoke of friendship and a treaty called Wuchale, but the paper held a secret sting. In the language of the king, the treaty said they were partners. However, in the envoy's language, it said Ethiopia belonged to the Italian crown. Menelik read the words carefully, his eyes narrowing as he realized the trickery. He would not let his people be fooled by a pen when their hearts were free. When Empress Teitu Betul heard of the deceit, her spirit flared like a wildfire. She was not just a queen, she was a brilliant strategist and a daughter of the mountains. "I am a woman," she declared, her voice ringing through the stone halls, "but I will not see my country sold for a lie." She stood before the council, her presence so powerful that even the bravest generals bowed. Taitu knew that freedom was not a gift, but something that had to be defended with every breath. The drum of the Negaret began to thunder, echoing from peak to peak. Menelik too mounted his horse and raised his spear toward the heavens. He sent out a call to every corner of the kingdom, to the farmers, the hunters, the weavers, and the priests. "Our home is calling," he cried. From the north to the south, the people heard the king's voice. They put down their plows and picked up their shields, ready to follow the Lion of Judah into the unknown. Among those who answered the call were a young scout named Caleb and his father, a baby. They joined a sea of thousands, a grand army marching toward the town of Adwa. Caleb looked at his father, his eyes wide, with a mix of fear and pride. A baby placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "We do not march for gold, my son," a baby whispered. "We march so that you may always walk on this soil and call it your own." As the great army reached the mountains of Adwa, Menelik and Taitu sat together over a map of the rugged terrain. The Italian forces, led by General Baratieri, were approaching through the narrow passes. Menelik knew the mountains better than any invader ever could. Taitu pointed to the hidden springs and the high ridges. "The land itself will be our